Good day. Welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. Nigeria's President Muhammad Buhari has confirmed his government is in talks to release the remaining captive Chibok girls. This comes a day before the third anniversary of the kidnapping of 276 schoolgirls by Islamic sect Boko Haram in the northeastern town of Chibok in April 14, 2014. The president urged Nigerians not to lose hope that the girls would return. He assured that he would do his best to reunite the abducted girls with their families. Of the girls taken from their school in the northeastern town in 2014, 195 of them are still missing. More than 20 were released in October last year, while others have escaped or been rescued. The Nigerian army has launched a security operation in the north central and northeastern parts of the country. Codenamed Harbin Kunama II, the operation is expected to curb insecurity in that region. There has been in recent times an upsurge of armed robbery, kidnapping, civil unrest, as well as all the related security challenges in the region. The operation was announced by the Chief of Training and Operations, Major General David Amadu, in Abuja.
The operation will afford the troops an opportunity to effectively checkmate the nefarious activities of the marauding criminals perpetrating criminal acts in the region and its environs. Additionally, Operation Harbin Kunama II is also designed to consolidate on the total defeat and rooting out of the Boko Haram terrorists from these enclaves, particularly the Sambisa forest. There is no gainsaying that Operation Harbin Kunama II is said to be another epoch-making exercise that will make the nation proud of the Nigerian Army's determination at sustaining the constitutional role of defending the territorial integrity of the nation, as well as its commitment to peace and security in various parts of our dear nation. In this regard, members of the public, especially the residents of Kano, Kaduna, Plateau, and Bauchi states, are enjoined not to panic, as their safety and well-being will be guaranteed.
2 soldiers have been killed in Rivers State during a gun battle with suspected sea pirates in the region. Army spokesman Abubakar Abdullah confirmed the attack, saying 3 other officials were also injured in the attack. He said 13 illegal oil refineries were destroyed during the operation. The Joint Task Force have now commenced operations to apprehend the criminals in that incident. It's the type of news many Nigerians are definitely pleased to hear. The country's inflation rate has fallen for the second month in a row. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the inflation rate fell by 17.26% in March 2017 from 17.78% recorded in February 2017. It's the second time the inflation rate is falling after a steady rise in the past 15 months. The NBS says the decline represented the effects of stabilizing prices in already high food and non-food prices. However, month-on-month rates rose by 1.72% from 1.49%. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has again discovered a huge amount of money in a house in Ikoyi, Lagos, southwest Nigeria. The money, made up of various currencies, sums up to $13 billion. The EFCC says the discovery was made following a tip-off from a whistleblower. The woman accused of owning the money, Esther Nnamdi Ogwe, an ex-managing director of NNPC, has said the money does not belong to her. Meanwhile, a federal high court in Lagos has ordered that the money be forfeited to the Nigerian government. Just some days ago, the agency discovered 250 million naira at a market in Lagos and 4 billion naira suspected to be proceeds of crime, following a tip-off by a whistleblower. Nigeria has been re-elected for the 45th time so far to chair the UN Special Committee on Peacekeeping Operations. Nigeria has chaired the committee from 1972 till date. The UN Special Committee on Peacekeeping Operations comprises of 147 member states, mostly past and current contributors to peacekeeping operations. The Nigerian police force says it is ready to collaborate with Nigerian students to fight crime in the country. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, paid a visit to the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, at the force headquarters in Abuja. The IGP, Ibrahim Idris, expressed worry over the spate of conflicts between the police and students in the country. He says it's very important for both of them to come together to address the issue.
You're going to have representative of the police, somebody from your office, somebody from research and planning, and somebody from operations. So you form this team that will liaise with the NANS committee, the students committee. They will sit down to come up with modality. And the modality I'm talking about is that we have a representative in each command. And we're going to have the first meeting, I'm sure if we can do it by next week. So that they can meet by next week. We have representatives from each command. And these representatives will go back to their individual commands. And I think even from students, it's better you take students from those areas, those that are based in those areas. So they can go there to mobilize your students and then meet with their police, commissioner of police there, and other senior members of the police team in the states, and come up with modality on how this thing can be. And I think one of the best ways to have a lot of dialogue between students and the police in each command level.
As much as you have done beautifully well, there are still some bad eggs, very many of them, in the police force. And I always tell myself I'm the president of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that is why we must have this synergy. That's why we must have this partnership. So that whenever we go out, if there is any need for us to go out, which I want to believe that if this is properly done, then there will not be need for us to always go out, because the partnership will be there, and whenever there are issues, there are people that will always liaise with the officers across the states. And that's the idea, where we can have students interacting with policemen across the 36 states of the Federation and Abuja inclusive. And that will also reduce my work drastically.
The Nigerian military has set up a joint panel to probe the clash between officers of the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Police Force in Damaturu, Yobe State. About 3 people were killed in that incident, which occurred on Wednesday. To ensure normalcy is returned to the area, the Chief of Defense Staff, Gabriel Olonishakin, has constituted a panel to probe the incident. This was confirmed in a statement issued by authorities. The panel includes officers of the Nigerian Police Force and the Nigerian Army. Italian oil and gas group Eni has again insisted it never paid any intermediary any bribes to acquire the OPL 245 oil field in Nigeria. Speaking at the group's annual shareholder meeting, its chairperson said Eni had only dealt with the Nigerian government directly. Courts in Nigeria and Italy are investigating the purchase of OPL 245. Eni and Major Royal Dutch Shell paid $1.3 billion for the rights to the block in 2011. On Wednesday, Shell said for the first time it admitted it was aware that some of the payments it made to Nigeria would go to a company associated with a former Nigerian oil minister and convicted launderer, Dan Etete. Still on our top stories now, the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating the contract of OPL 245 says it's considering inviting former President Goodluck Jonathan to assist in its inquiries. Razak Atunwa, who is the chairman of the committee, made this known in a statement. President Jonathan, who is the former president of Nigeria, was alleged to have received up to $200 million in bribes from the Malabu oil deal. The former president has, however, denied the allegations. The Nigerian government has condemned the use of chemical weapons in Syria on April 4, 2017. At least 87 people were killed in the attack, including many children. The government called on all parties to the Syrian conflict to cease hostilities and resolve their issues. It also urged the parties to resume negotiations for an early resolution of the conflict. Nigeria's electoral body INEC says it has formally suspended 205 officials for receiving over 3 billion naira bribe during the 2015 general elections. INEC's National Commissioner Mohammed Haruna disclosed this during a press briefing in Abuja, the nation's capital. He said the investigations were conducted in 16 states of the Federation.
Months after the Nigeria's anti-graft body, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, issued a report indicting 202 INEC officials of collecting bribes to influence the outcome of the 2015 general elections, the electoral body now says it has established some of its staff did indeed collect bribes during the general elections. The FCC had alleged in his report that 23 billion naira was spent in bribes of various forms during the general elections. But INEC says from its own investigation, it has found some of its staff collected bribe money worth over 3 billion naira. It also says during investigations, additional 80 INEC staffs were accused and interrogated, bringing a total of 282 INEC staffs and officials accused of corrupt practices. The body says pending the final outcome of the investigation, it is suspending 205 INEC members and officials, placing them on half salaries.
You may recall that late last year, the Commission received an interim report from the EFCC detailing allegations against 202 serving and retired INEC officials and staff in 16 states of the Federation. In furtherance of its zero tolerance for corruption in the electoral process, the Commission ordered a thorough investigation into the allegations to establish the culpability or otherwise of those named in the EFCC report. Based on their level of involvement, 205 serving INEC staff will be immediately placed on interdiction, which entails suspension from duties and being placed on half salary, pending the final determination of the cases they have with the AFCC.
Haruna, who headed the INEC investigation committee, said the investigation established that an NGO known as West African Network of Election Observers, comprising retired senior INEC officials, was used as a conduit to distribute the bribe.
Out of the 23 billion naira which the EFCC report said was used to influence the elections, the committee established that 3 billion 46,829,000 naira was received by INEC staff in 16 states.
In furtherance of his zero tolerance for corruption in the electoral process, Haruna said the electoral body has decided to take the necessary step to help fight corruption in the commission.
The commission hereby reiterates its commitment to defending the integrity of the electoral process. Therefore, it will continue to take stern action against its officials who compromise its core values of integrity, transparency, and impartiality in the conduct of elections.
Pending the final outcome of its investigation, INEC says it is committed to the fight against corruption and will do all it can to ensure a smooth and peaceful general elections in 2019. Flourish Alonge, TV360, Lagos.
Corruption not in my country.
How work?
Oh, correct, Oga.
What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they come out the part now. Make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuza be this so. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They will come out the original parts, sell them, make plenty kuza.
No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they bad. And not because of stuff.
Now because they overuse the generator. Plus say NEPA no they give them electricity.
Before I open my eye, Makachuku look at my talk in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before we do am, front jump. One, front jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is the corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Up next, we have business news with Fidelia.
Thank you, Thelma. Nigeria's central bank has increased the limit on banks' foreign currency borrowing to 125% of shareholders' fund. The CBN reached the decision after some lenders violated its guiding limit due to the recent fall in the naira. The new regulation replaces the 2014 rule capping foreign loans at 25% of shareholders' fund. Now, the new rule also prescribes that all foreign borrowings should be hedged through the financial market, and debt should have a minimum of 5-year maturity, except for trade lines. Nigeria will delay the issuance of a green bond until the country's 2017 budget has been passed. This is according to the country's environment minister. The government had planned to launch the 20 billion naira bond in April to fund projects to reduce carbon emission and develop renewable energy, but that has now been delayed. The federal government says it would begin payment of a $5.1 billion debt owed to 5 international oil companies by the end of April. The companies involved are ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, Total, and Nigeria Ajib Oil Company. The debt, which was incurred from 2010 to 2015 due to Nigeria's inability to make its share of capital contributions to the joint ventures, will be settled through crude sales over 5 years and will be interest-free. The government formally exited the joint venture cash calls arrangement it had with the companies in December last year. Oil prices edged higher on Thursday after the International Energy Agency said the market was nearing balance. Now, Brent crude futures was up 20 cents at $56.06 a barrel, while US crude futures rose 16 cents to trade at $53.27 a barrel. Now, the market has been oversupplied for 3 years, and members of OPEC as well as non-OPEC producers have agreed to slash output to rein in the glut. That's all on business. More stories coming up. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
Mr. Job! Mr. Job! What is it now?
What is it now?
Please turn down the volume of your music. It's too loud.
And how is that your business?
It is disturbing me. I can't sleep.
And the same way you are disturbing my right to good music and where I enjoy it. What's wrong with you? Is any other person complaining?
Maybe we thought that you have lost your mind. Are you having a party?
I'm just expecting you, sir. You remember I paid my husband too.
You will not understand why we are complaining, because you do not care about other people except yourself. Look, the transformation we need in this country begins in this compound.
Yes, now.
From you, and I. This your selfishness is an offshoot of corruption. And corruption
not in my country.
We know. Go to your bank. Go.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Close to 100 migrants are feared missing after their boat sank off the Libyan coast near Tripoli on Thursday. A Coast Guard official, Ayub Kazim, said 23 migrants were rescued from a western suburb of Tripoli. Survivors say the inflatable boat had set off with about 120 people on board before the incident. Libya is the main departure point for migrants hoping to reach Europe by sea, and more than 150,000 have made the crossing from Libya to Italy in each of the past 3 years. Egypt authorities have named the suicide bomber who attacked a cathedral in Alexandria as 31-year-old Mahmoud Hassan Mubarak Abdullah. Authorities describe him as a fugitive with links to militant cells that carried out previous strikes in the country. The Interior Ministry said in a statement that Abdullah had been a resident of Suez province and used to work for a petroleum company before the incident. Egypt's government imposed a 3-month state of emergency in the wake of the attacks that killed close to 50 people. The Enugu state government has denied sacking Ima Amapakabu as coach of Rangers Football Club. Reports on Monday had suggested the coach had been dismissed, but Commissioner for Sports Charles Ndukwe told reporters in Enugu that the state government which owns the outfit, had not sacked Amakpakabu. He said the management of the club had also not engaged any other coach, contrary to reports during the rounds that a former player of the team, Silvanus Okpala, had been given the job. Ballon d'Or holder Cristiano Ronaldo has become the first player to reach 100 Champions League goals following his double against Bayern Munich in the Champions League quarter-final. The Portuguese scored a second-half brace to help Real Madrid to a 2-1 away victory in the Champions League quarter-final first leg. The 32-year-old had been sitting on 98 European competition goals since September last year, but broke his long Champions League drought in a spectacular fashion. Ronaldo has now scored 84 Champions League goals for Real Madrid, while the other 16 were for Manchester United. Lionel Messi has been asked to testify in his appeal against a 4-match ban imposed on him by a football governing body, FIFA. The Argentine captain was banned for 4 games for directing insulting words at an assistant referee. He, however, appealed against the ban and has been asked to come and defend himself in the court. Argentina is currently in 5th position in the World Cup qualifiers, 1 place behind the automatic qualifying spot and a point behind 4th place Chile. If Messi's ban is not overturned, he will only be available for the final match against Ecuador. Well, that is on news now. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Thelma Okoro.